Hello and welcome to Rock, Paper, Shotgun. Liam here, and I've spent the last week managing a series of universities, doing my best to ensure the next generation of chefs and, wizards are given the education they rightfully deserve. This mainly involves providing them with a lot of the same things I was given during my time at university, such as a single microwave that's shared between 100 other people, a student union bar that hasn't been redecorated since 1996, and a big machine that can cook a burger the size of a van. The dream. Okay, so maybe 2 Point Campus, the latest management sim from 2 Point Studios, doesn't offer players the most realistic simulation of university life. It does, however, deliver an excellent management game that improves upon its predecessor, 2 Point Hospital, in basically every single way. I've had the pleasure of noodling around with it for about a week now, and I'm here to let you know why 2 Point Campus is an A+ game that's top of the class. Not proud of myself for bad university puns, but here we are. In honour of those students who choose to live by themselves at age 18 despite never having made a meal more complex than a bowl of cereal before, let's begin with the basics. 2 Point Campus is a management game that puts you in charge of a brand new university. On the broadest level, it's your job to make sure your student population graduates with exceptional grades. You do this by building lecture halls, seminar rooms, dormitories, and toilet blocks before hiring teachers and assistants to keep the kids adequately educated and suitably healthy. Well, as healthy as a university student can be, anyway. I survived off £1 Iceland microwave meals when I was at uni, so, there's only so much you can do. If you're familiar with 2 Point Hospital, a lot of this will sound very familiar. Although Campus does share a lot of the same systems, mechanics, visuals, and humour that made the studio's previous game so endearing upon its original release in 2018, this is far from a simple reskin. Campus builds upon the foundations of Hospital in new and interesting ways, refreshing the core formula in some areas while polishing up basically everything else. The result is a management sim that eschews realism in favour of the absurd and throws tedious complexity to the wayside in the pursuit of being a good hang. That's not to say that Campus doesn't offer a challenge, of course. There is a raft of new systems this time around that give the game a bit more texture than its predecessor. As you'd expect, students come to your university to attend classes for a specific course. Courses last up to 3 in-game years, with lectures and seminars occurring every other month. These courses range from a simple science degree to slightly more fantastical endeavours such as wizardry and whatever is happening here. At the end of an academic year, students that get decent enough grades progress to the next year, while a fresh intake of students arrive to take their place. As you make improvements to your university, you gain points that allow you to either upgrade your current selection of courses, increasing the number of students who enroll as a result, or choose up to 2 more from an ever-growing list of available options. Whereas Hospital had a pretty bad habit of overwhelming the player with an increasing supply of patients to cure every level, Campus has a slightly more gentle difficulty curve. Or maybe one that doesn't feel as relentless, I guess. The focus of your first year is usually to balance your finances alongside student happiness. You'll spend your time providing your initial group of 10 students and a handful of staff with enough facilities to keep them satisfied enough to hit the books and complete assignments. Subsequent years will see your student population increase, the additional cash flow allowing you to upgrade and train staff, as well as build more specialised facilities. However, as you'd expect with more students on campus every single year, minor problems can intensify to the point where many will either fail or decide to drop out of your university completely, reducing the standing of your educational institution as well as your cash flow. What's nice is that at the end of each year, the game provides you with a choice of what you want to do next. Do you want extra cash in exchange for more students, or stick with your current offerings to establish a safety net before you ramp up the pressure? The answer is probably always going to be the latter. Regardless of your choice, you'll get more students, but if the thought of 100 extra students charging into your understaffed university makes you want to vomit from stress, at least you have the option to chill for another year instead. Regardless of your decision, it's important to remember that a happy student is a hard-working one, so it's vital you make sure your ever-increasing number of scholars are kept entertained, well-fed, and clean. At the end of every month, good grades are rewarded with a wad of bonus cash, incentivizing you to maintain a solid foundation of good old-fashioned education at all times. Basically, if your kids are getting A's across the board, then your bank balance will never dip into the red. Like any good management game then, Campus is a balancing act that never feels like you're spinning plates. Problems emerge, sure, but with so many systems at play, it always feels like there's a solution that isn't just restarting the level from scratch every single time you make a mistake. Each level has 3 stars to obtain, as was the case in Hospital. These are awarded by completing a series of challenges that increase in difficulty as you progress. Although the management side of Campus rarely changes as you move from mission to mission, challenges are varied enough that things remain interesting until the very end. Each level also has its own theme, as well as unique obstacles to contend with, such as natural disasters, extreme temperatures, or invading forces determined to smash up your vending machines or place weird hexes on your students. Earning 3 stars is often an endurance test, requiring you to maintain a couple of different metrics at the same time to achieve that elusive accolade. It's never challenging enough to be considered overtly frustrating though, while at the same time, it never feels easy enough to become boring. It's really good at generating that same one more go mentality that I get with games such as Civ or Factorio, and I did stay up past 3 AM 2 days in a row because I lost track of time carefully scheduling parties at the student union to keep my grades high. It's very compelling, and I can see myself spending a lot more time with it over the coming weeks and months. Of course, it helps that Campus is also really funny. Classes in particular are brilliant, each boasting 1 or 2 unique seminar rooms that revolve around a huge machine that does something completely bonkers. Culinary classes let budding chefs make huge pizzas that I want to swim in, while robotics students build a big robot that eventually flies away. Campus drip feeds you new courses as you progress through its various levels, and it's a genuine joy to load up a new environment and see what deranged activities your students will get up to this time around. Stellar animation work does a lot of the heavy lifting here. I like how 2-point games resemble the work of animation studio Aardman, with each character bumbling around like they're in a Wallace and Gromit short. They're absolutely bursting with personality, and their exaggerated actions give you a real sense of their current emotional state. I mean, look at this little fella having a personal breakthrough while chatting to a therapist. It's marvelous stuff. While most students use their university experience as an opportunity to find themselves, which in of itself is brilliant, some come pre-packaged with distinct character traits such as being a goth or a cyborg. The gameplay benefits of these specific student types aren't hugely obvious, but the goths wander around looking sad all the time, and I just think that's neat. Basically, I just love watching this game play out in front of me. Frequently, I'd find myself sitting back and just observing my students going about their daily business, attending classes, playing Crazy Taxi in the student lounge, studying for an assignment in the library. It's lovely stuff. It's all distinctly British, too, which probably helps its absurdity feel a little more palatable. The in-game radio returns from Hospital, along with its cast of regional hosts that crack silly little jokes as you potter around. Some are a little grating, but they did make me laugh quite a lot when I first started playing. I think it's just nice to hear a Geordie accent in a video game, to be honest.
Sure, cheesy gubbins are, well, fine. But if you're looking for a truly superior snack, you should try Grub Grubs, the snack that's made from real naturally expired insects.
Also, and maybe this is just a me thing, but I did derive quite a lot of joy out of how loose some of its systems can feel. For instance, your students need dorms so they can sleep and recharge their energy, but the game doesn't really care whether you build an impeccably designed room that accommodates one student or one huge windowless warehouse that forces 14 students to sleep together in rows. Also, these 14 beds are shared by 100 different people, and the game considers this acceptable. It would have been nice to have had more reason to customize spaces, perhaps, but at the same time, this makes me laugh. A lot. For some reason, this is really funny to me. Campus feels so dense that there's a lot I haven't even spoken about here. For instance, you can now extend pre-existing buildings, as well as build entirely new ones if you want. Sure, you could argue that the joy of Hospital was attempting to squeeze as many facilities as possible into a limited amount of space, but seeing as campus also introduces the ability to place items and courses outside, that particular challenge remains despite this newly added flexibility. There's a greater degree of customization that I really appreciate, and it's the little changes like this that go a long way to make campus feel like a true successor to Hospital. To put it plainly, I think 2 Point Campus is really good fun. It offers a truly compelling management experience and is proof that the core formula established in 2 Point Hospital can be adapted to other professions without sacrificing any of the humour or personality that made the original game so endearing. It is not without its problems, admittedly, but I had a good time playing it regardless. If, like me, you're a fan of Bullfrog Entertainment's catalogue of management titles and still crave their particular blend of absurdist simulation, well, like Hospital, Campus is an excellent thing that hits those same beats. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, why not give it a little like and subscribe? Also, tell me in the comments what meals you used to cook at university. I am begging you, what weird, unhinged concoctions did you eat on a regular basis? For all your PC gaming needs, make sure to check out rockpapershotgun.com, and I will see you next time.